Hey everyone, it's Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B, back with some more interviews at NRF 2022. We're excited to finally be back at an in-person trade show, locking in some content with the best and brightest in retail that are defining future technologies, trends, methodologies, and everything for retail success. Today we're sitting down with Mr. Josh Middlebrooks. He's president of Luxer One, which is a package management company developing software platforms and physical package delivery lockers for frictionless package acceptance, a major part of the future of e-commerce and delivery fulfillment for retail. So, Mr. Josh, great to have you on. How you doing?
Hey, I'm glad to be here. I'm doing great. Back in person, like you said, I'm psyched.
Yeah, it's been definitely a hectic and weird show with Corona floating around, right? But luckily, everyone has high spirits, and there's a lot of powerful things still happening in retail regardless of a pandemic. So we're here to capture that information.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you taking some time today. So let's go ahead and jump into the meat of the conversation. I'm curious what e-commerce trends you're seeing shaping package delivery solutions the most today, and why. Connect those dots for us.
Yeah, so at Luxer One, we actually have smart lockers not just in retail storefronts for BOPIS and BOSS transactions. We have them in a ton of apartment buildings across the country. We have about 3 million active users that the primary way they receive packages at apartment buildings is through our Luxer One systems with Amazon and big retailers delivering through UPS, FedEx, and the like. Right now with e-commerce, especially COVID fueled, we've seen a lot more ship to home. We're up 22% year over year from 21 to 20, and obviously in 2020 with COVID, that whole thing went crazy. We're also seeing, just because stores were shut down, a lot more BOPIS pickup going through our lockers. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of more of the same, right? But the volume has just been going off the charts. It doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. We just have to do it with more challenges like less labor and contactless and all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I want to dive into BOPIS because that feels like one of the core trends that has picked up a lot of steam as an option for consumers to get their purchases faster. How is package delivery, both the physical solution of a package locker, as well as any of the sort of digital touch points, how is that intersecting with BOPIS, and how are those trends developing simultaneously?
So basically, when BOPIS was kicking off, maybe even 10 years ago, stores and labor were easily able to deal with the package volume or order volume and still deliver a world-class customer experience. Now, with BOPIS growing like 25% year over year, it's at an unmanageable level, right? There's one associate there who's supposed to be grabbing packages from the back, processing returns, doing all this stuff, and the queue of people is 25 deep. So, insert a smart locker, you're able to give a quick, easy, contactless BOPIS pickup experience by scanning a QR code, mobile app integration, whatever, it's up to the retailer how they want that experience to look. But basically walk up, scan it, door opens, there's your package, go. We close it all out on the back end in terms of order confirmation and checkout. So it's really been a labor saver and a CX driver, and that's kind of why we found ourselves in with some of the biggest brands out there.
So what are the list of retailers, if you can name a few, that are taking on package delivery or fulfillment in this way, right? Utilizing a storage locker and all of the digital touch points and visibility it provides to the customer.
From a branding perspective, I'll just say that we're here in New York, in Times Square. If you go to any of the stores of the future that are kind of in this area, whether it's hardware, electronics, apparel, footwear, without being explicit, you'll see our smart lockers almost on every major department store corner in this area specifically, because it's kind of been the hub of retail innovation. If it works in New York, we can do it anywhere kind of thing. But so a lot of Fortune 50 retailers are on the customer list, but it's really, I think, becoming more and more ubiquitous out there as we are going through this now labor shortage. We're going through inflation. We're going through all these different challenges and staffing that, the use cases keep piling up. The benefits keep piling up. It's really just a way to do automated handoff of orders. So you think about all the things that applies to, returns, third-party delivery, all of that.
A ton. Now, just to bring it back to BOPIS then, is that a consumer behavior that you see sticking around or being a key
100%.
channel for retail?
Yeah.
And if so, how do you see that influencing future deployments of package delivery solutions?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest threat to BOPIS as a channel in your omni-channel strategy was that your customer experience at the checkout was not matching your customer experience online when you were purchasing, right? So it's quick and easy to do, and from your couch, and then you get there and it's kind of a pain. Well, now with package lockers, you kind of remove that friction point, so I think it's going to take off even more. Like, everyone in the Fortune 50 retailers is already doing BOPIS. That's making its way down into the mid-market at this point, where almost every new business that's launched thinks about e-commerce and BOPIS first. So I think it's just a trend that's specifically here to stay, and package lockers inserting into that, making it quick, easy, contactless. During COVID, pickup. It's something that is being adopted across all generations. I mean, every different generation, right? Baby boomers using it on one end, but then on the other extreme, the Zoomer generation that's been educated at home this whole pandemic,
Literally.
They don't want to talk to anybody anyway, right? They just want to go up with their device, scan it, go, boom, I'm out of here.
Right. I feel that. A lot of, my sister's a Zoomer herself, and she's big on the convenience, and if she can get it ordered, she can just grab it and go.
Yeah.
She's got more TikToks to make, so
exactly. Yeah, let's get in and out.
Time is precious.
Yeah.
So then, why would you recommend that retailers invest in the customer experience of BOPIS, right? Like, what is the ROI that they should be expecting to get out of that kind of investment, and how does that factor into a larger omni-channel strategy?
I think the first thing with BOPIS is it's not just the frictionless pickup and all of that, but it's actually driving foot traffic into your store.
Fair.
In a lot of ways, right? I mean, most retail, you see something like a 20 to 25% attachment rate. Something that they wouldn't have bought anyway.
Right.
Even if it's just a stick of gum, right? That's still sales, that driving foot traffic. I think the other benefits with BOPIS are going to be around just offering another option to meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
If people didn't want this as an option, it would have died by now, right?
Fair.
But the fact that it keeps growing, meeting generations where they're at, and like you said, millennials, Gen Z, all of that. It's something that they're not just requesting, it's almost that they're demanding at this point, right, as an option.
Totally. And as we've seen today, customer demands and expectations are one of the key driving forces for new deployment. So if customers keep wanting it and they use it, naturally we're probably going to see more. So retailers should start to invest in the hardware and the software that maximizes that.
Absolutely. And if you're making investments out there, all of your stuff at this point hopefully has analytics that ties back to CX.
Yeah.
So at Luxer One, when we deploy smart lockers, we're asking at the end of that transaction, how did you like it?
Yeah.
Right? Give us feedback on how we can improve. And the hit rate that we have on those surveys is actually closer to 40%, which is unheard of,
that's
right?
pretty good for a survey, yeah.
And so when people are sending out their email follow-ups and all of that, maybe you get a 10% return rate, but I think that's a big trend that's going to be in the future as well. Getting CX right then in the moment, and then using that as a funnel to feed back some next steps.
Positive feedback loop.
Yep.
I love it. All right, last question I've got for you, Mr. Josh, is as companies explore different mobility technologies to help solve some of the last mile fulfillment challenges that come with e-commerce and new channels in the omni strategy, what role do you see package lockers playing in that delivery chain and during the last mile, and what pain points do you see it?
When I think about it, and what Luxer One's role in all of this is that we're really on the last 100 feet.
Right.
People have been talking about last mile, first mile, middle mile, all of this, right? We're last 100 feet for pickup. So we're there, and we're the physical interface, with our software and with our hardware and all of that for people to pick up their packages. We have about 3 million users. We do about 50 million deliveries today in apartment buildings using this technology. How do we go after different sections of the market, though? Not just apartment buildings, but single family homes where once we all start going back to the office, porch piracy is going to be a thing again, right?
Yes,
that we're all going to talk about. It's how can we serve that market? And maybe, we have smart lockers at people's homes, we have smart lockers at retailer locations. maybe there's a middle ground there too, right? Hey, you're dropping off your kids at work or whatever.
Like a mailroom, but a communal drop-off location.
Absolutely, right? And just around the city. So a public locker network, I think, is in the future for America, and hopefully we're the one powering and providing that.
I love that. Well, we'll definitely be staying in touch then for those future developments. But till then, I think that does it. Mr. Josh Middlebrooks, president of Luxer One, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, appreciate it. It was great.
Yeah, and if folks want to tap into the Luxer One ecosystem, they want to learn more about your product, or maybe launch something themselves, how can they get in touch?
Yeah, luxer1.com. Fill out the contact form, or you can email me directly, joshm@luxer1.com, and yeah, I'd be happy to talk and discuss what's on people's minds.
Easy enough. One spelled out, O-N-E?
Yep, Luxerone.
Perfect. Love it. All right, Josh. Thanks for your time, man.
Daniel, appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.